The Salem witch trials only ended after the governor's own wife was accused of witchcraft. Before then, the fate of the accused often laid in the hands of literal children. It was the winter of 1692, and tensions in Salem Village, Massachusetts were on the rise. Fear of famine after a bad harvest, dying livestock, and lingering worry about a recent smallpox outbreak all played a huge role in this. The Puritans saw any sort of disease or food shortages as judgment from God or evidence that Satan was hard at work against their community. So, when 9-year-old Betty Paris, a reverend's daughter, began acting strangely, the villagers were quick to start pointing fingers. Betty began experiencing unexplained fits. She was contorting her body, making strange noises, and acting as if she were in pain. After a doctor's examination, the diagnosis was clear. Betty had been bewitched. Shortly after this, Betty's cousin Abigail began having similar episodes. When asked who was causing this torment, both girls accused the Paris family's slave, a woman named Tituba. A month later, 2 more girls came forward, claiming that they too were being tormented. They also named Tituba and 2 additional women, Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne. All 3 women turned on each other in court in an attempt to save themselves, each accusing the others of practicing witchcraft to hurt the girls. Tituba would eventually confess after enduring severe beatings from her master, but because of this, she would be spared and used as a key witness in the trials. Sarah Good was the first to stand trial. She was a homeless woman who was seen by the villagers as somewhat of a nuisance because she was a beggar. Her 6-year-old daughter was forced to testify against her in court, and her daughter would later be accused of witchcraft and held in prison for over 7 months before eventually being bailed out. Sarah Good, on the other hand, was sentenced to be hanged, but because she was pregnant, she would be held in jail until her child was born. Sarah gave birth in jail, but her infant died in prison with her before her execution. The other woman accused, Sarah Osborne, was the first to die in the trials, but not from execution. Sarah Osborne was also considered an outcast because she had poor attendance at church. This was because she was ill and had been bedridden for quite some time, and she passed away in prison due to poor living conditions. And despite popular belief, none of the people accused during the Salem witch trials were burned at the stake. In fact, all of them were hanged except for one man. Giles Corey was an 81-year-old man being accused of witchcraft, but because he refused to plead guilty or not guilty and couldn't be tried in court for that accusation, they instead stripped him of all of his clothing, placed a wooden board over his chest, and began placing heavy stones on the board. After 2 days of having stones piled on top of him, he was given another chance to plead, but Corey's reply was more weight.